Call to order the Fitchburg Conservation Commission regular monthly meeting for June 4th, 2025 at 6:01 p.m. The Fitchburg Conservation The Commission collaborates with residents, businesses, and organizations to facilitate compliance with the 8 interests of the Wetlands Protection Act. This commission operates under the authority granted by the Fitchburg Wetlands Ordinance and the Wetlands Protection Act. The commission requests that anyone wishing to speak approach the podium, speak clearly into the microphone. Remote attendees should maintain microphones on mute for privacy. If you would like to speak, use the raise your hand function to alert our agent of your intention to comment. The commission requests comments be limited to no more than 5 minutes. Meetings of this commission are subject to and abide by the open meeting law. Please be advised that this public meeting is being live streamed and recorded by FATV. If a member of the in-person audience is recording this meeting, please identify yourself for the public record. There being none at this time, please place all devices in silent mode. And I will call the roll of commissioners in attendance. Commissioner Christian?
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Donnelly?
Here.
Commissioner Pelletier is not with us this evening. Commissioner Tantanarowat?
Here.
Commissioner Wallace?
Here.
Commissioner Jacobs? Here. Also in attendance tonight is our conservation agent, Ms. Herlin Jamie. And if you would, please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. And Herlin, do we have any announcements tonight?
No.
Okay, thank you. Anyone on the commission, any announcements for anything? There being none, thank you. And let's proceed right to our first item of business. This will be British American Club, 1 Simonds Road. If you'd like to step up to the podium or the table, if you would. If you would please state your name for the record.
Patty Cox, Secretary.
Ron Cody, Vice President.
Okay, Ron and Patricia, thank you very much. The Fitchburg Conservation Commission will open the discussion for a request for determination of applicability, 1 Simonds Road, British American Club, vegetation removal and site cleanup. This is continued from last month's meeting of May 7th, 2025. Let me open the discussion. I talked to our agent today, and part of our conversation last month was that there's a fee required for this application, and that has not been paid yet. Do we know the status of where that is?
No.
Okay.
What? Number one, what's the...
Well, the fee is $150.
I'm in the dark completely.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because the gentleman, John, was here last month along with Patricia. And our conversation last month was there was a request for a waiver of the fees because of being, quote, a nonprofit. But your status as a 5013C right now is not valid. We had this conversation about the application is being submitted. So we said, okay, fine, we would allow the fee to be 50%, which is $75.
Okay.
No. And we would charge you 50% of what the fee is, and nothing has been paid yet. We do not normally proceed with hearings or discussions without all fees being paid.
I understand. It's just
Okay.
perfect. Like I said, I don't know what is the fee for?
The fee is for the application and processing of your application.
Our application to do what? I'm totally, literally, I have no idea.
All right. I don't have to explain to you what your application is for, sir. I would think that, and I'm not being rude, but
I understand that,
the
but
club needs to know what they're applying for.
unfortunately, the person who applied is not here, is no longer the president.
Okay,
So we have a dark area going on.
okay.
So we can all back out and I'll try to figure out what the application is for.
Well, the application was for work that wanted to be done in your parking lot on a riverfront area, which is under the jurisdiction of the Wetlands Protection Act, okay?
So I'm sorry.
No, so let's do this, because it seems like no one here is prepared to move forward with this request at this time, Patricia, unless you have something to add beyond what we had last month.
Not at all,
Okay.
because
Can I have a point of clarification?
Yep,
From what I'm understanding, somebody has said they want to pull the pipe, the steam pipe out of the property, and they want to cut the vegetation down.
that was the
is that
basic
summarization?
gist of what the project was summarized as last month, yes. And there was a pavilion that wants to be erected, like a tent or something out back for other activities.
that was later in the progress, yes.
Okay, so rather than, I don't want to waste your time, you don't want to waste your time.
Not at all.
Okay, so at this point, we're going to table this. Now, we don't meet again until August, so I'm sure that that's not going to help you right now, but it sounds like you need to get a lot of things in order before you're ready to come back to us with a presentation.
Or I dump everything.
Well, you can withdraw your application if you want.
Because we're being asked to spend money to clean vegetation on a riverfront. And
On your property,
on our property.
right.
But if I don't do it,
Then you don't touch it, you don't need a permit for anything.
thank you.
And so are you asking to withdraw your application?
Yes,
up to you.
until I can review everything.
Yeah, so, all right, so we'll just hold on to it for now.
All right.
Once you get settled with what's going on and you get new offices in place or whatever you're going to do.
That's what we need to do.
Right, so then come back. You can always meet with Herlin and kind of bring her up to date. Go ahead, Herlin.
I would advise the commission to have this person before us withdraw the application, as he is not the applicant.
I'm
On the-
sorry.
are the-
I didn't understand that.
Well, the application was filed by John Recruity, and I'm not probably finding, so he is the applicant. However, Patricia is on that application, so she can make the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's withdraw it, and we'll refile again under the new president when that takes place.
Okay, under your authority, Patricia
Yes.
Cox, British American Club, then we will withdraw the petition that was submitted. And again, going forward, if you do want to do the work, then you can request, we will tell you whether or not what type of permit you need for whatever the scope of work is that you're going to do. And if you can show us that you are a nonprofit, then we can discuss fees and what we can waive and not waive at that time.
Very good, because that's another,
That's a whole nother issue,
whole
but you got to
process
do
going
your
forward.
501c3 process.
that's a whole
and
nother,
application. Okay, so right now, then, we will consider this request for determination withdrawn without prejudice, so you can submit it again at any time should you choose to.
very good, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Thank you. No, Helena, we didn't vote on it, it's just withdrawn, so I'm fine with that, too. Thank you. Okay. Our next item is Jewell Hill, Dr. Baker. This again, if you would like to join us. The Fitchburg Conservation Commission will open the discussion for a request for determination of applicability The Fitchburg Trail, Stewards, Jewell Hill Trail Boardwalk. And if you would state your name for the record.
Sure. Ralph Baker, Ashby West Road.
Okay.
And I
Good
think-
evening, Ralph. Thank you
evening.
very much. I think this is really just a formality. Last month, your presentation was very thorough. At this time, I would just, if you have anything that you want to add, or we'll go to comment if we,
Only that Johnny Mangini from the trustees said he would zoom in,
okay,
as he's the representative of the property owner.
okay. Do you have anyone online, Herlin?
No.
Not at this time. Okay,
Okay, maybe it's because this came a little
Quickly,
quicker
yeah.
than we thought.
okay.
You don't need the property owner for the RDA as long as the applicant is here.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Do any of the commissioners have any comment or question?
I made mine last month.
Commissioner Christian, any comments or questions?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Donnelly? All right, that being said, I will entertain a motion in the negative. Well, at this point, we're saying that there is no need for a notice of intent, so this would be offered as a negative determination. I'll take a motion in a second, please.
Motion to accept the negative determination.
Second?
Second.
And second, thank you. Let me call the roll. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarowat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace? Aye. Commissioner Jacobs is an aye. Dr. Baker, you may proceed with your project.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay. And our next item on the agenda is Marshall Road. This is a single-family home, Jose Espinoza, Lot 4, Marshall Road, map ID S18-4-4. Mass DEP has now issued their DEP number, which is 1550763. This is a continuance from last month, but I do understand from Herlin that they have asked for a continuance to make some modifications to the placement of the septic system. That being said, if we have no other questions, I'll take a motion in a second to, this will be continued to August,
Motion to continue.
August 6th.
Second.
Okay, let me call the roll. Commissioner Christian,
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarowat.
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace. Aye. Commissioner Jacobs. Aye. And so this is continued to our, since we have no meeting in July, it is continued to, let me just make sure I have that date. You think it is August 6th? Yep, August 6th. Thank you. Okay, very good. We have continued. We are moving right along tonight, let me tell you. Next up on the agenda, 21 Depot Street. If Thank you very much. The commission will open the public hearing for notice of intent, Cunningham Equities LLC redevelopment, Eleanor's Loft, 21 Depot Street. Thank you very much. Please state your name and city of resident for the record.
Hi, good evening. My name is Zaylee Algy. My city of residence is Millbury, Massachusetts.
Okay, thank you. It was Zaylee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Peter Ellison with TEC. We're the civil engineer on the project, and we're based out of Lawrence, Mass.
Okay, Peter, thank you very much. There is no DEP number that has been applied to this project yet, so we can open the hearing, you can present your project, but we will need to continue it to our next meeting, waiting for DEP for the number and comments. Okay, please proceed.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for letting us join you this evening.
Hi.
Like I said, my name is Zaylee Yowzie. I'm the
Can you pull that microphone there?
Come in a little
There you
closer.
go. So it's on the recording. Thank
No,
you.
absolutely. My name is Zaylee Yowzie. I'm the VP of Operations for Cunningham Equities, and this evening we're hoping to share a little bit about the Eleanor's Lofts project, which is a proposed historic rehabilitation project at the former Monk's Joe Alstrom paper mill. And we're proposing 225 residential apartments, as well as other improvements to the general site to make it more of a community asset for the city of Fitchburg. I'll turn it over to Peter to talk a little bit more about some of the technical details of our application.
Good evening. Again, my name is Peter Ellison. I'm a civil engineer with TEC, representing Cunningham Equities. Like Zaylee said, the purpose of the project is to rehabilitate the historic mill located at 21 Depot Street. The property is approximately 10 acres in area, and it's right on the North Nashua River. As part of the project, in addition to rehabbing the building, we're proposing to build 350 new parking spaces. Most of those spaces are located within existing impervious area, and a lot of that is within the buffer zones and within wetland resource areas, which I can get into and kind of highlight. So there are 4 different wetland resource areas located at the property, bordering vegetated wetlands identified on the plans as flags A1 to A8, inland bank, bordering land subject to flooding, so the 100-year floodplain for the Nashua River is currently mapped at elevation 523. We know that through coordination with the FEMA office in Massachusetts, the maps are being updated.
Yes.
And scheduled to be released in July, so in a couple months here. 1 month, time's flying. The revised maps will put that flood elevation at elevation 519, so quite a significant reduction in the 100-year floodplain. And then also riverfront area at the site associated with the North Nashua River. So I can go through each one in kind of some more detail just to highlight how much of the project is proposed within the buffer zones, disturbance, and things of the like. So for bordering vegetated wetlands, there's approximately 21,590 square feet of disturbance proposed within the 100-foot buffer zone to that resource area. However, of that 21,000, 19,500 is previously disturbed and is already an impervious parking lot out there. Overall, the project proposes to reduce the amount of impervious within that buffer zone by 682 square feet. So we were very careful as we laid out the project, the parking lot, to make sure that we're at a minimum holding the edge of pavement adjacent to the river, and in most cases pulling that pavement back away from the river to try and improve the buffer zone through there. Similar story with inland bank. The bank starts at the west side of the site along the existing retaining wall that goes right up to Depot Street, and the bank is coincident with that retaining wall until it gets to the building known as Mill Number 4, as I learned through some historical research for the Fitchburg paper company. At that point, it does turn into a vegetated inland bank, and it runs along the north side of the site along the river and kind of wraps around the proposed parking improvements. Approximately 143,000 square feet of disturbance is proposed within that 100-foot buffer zone. However, again, 110,000 square feet of that buffer zone is already previously disturbed. It's already paved surfaces or buildings, existing buildings. Overall, within that 100-foot buffer zone to the bank, we are going to be reducing impervious area by 7,638 square feet. So we're going to be pulling that pavement away from the river, adding green space, and adding proposed plantings to try and enhance that buffer zone along the bank. Bordering land subject to flooding, again, that's elevation 519, approximately 130,000 square feet of the site is within that bordering land subject to flooding within that 100-year floodplain. We've been very careful with the way that we've designed the grading on the site to make sure that we are increasing the amount of flood storage at the site. So we're either holding the existing grades where they are or slightly lowering them compared to existing. And we've done a detailed analysis, which is included in the NOI package, that goes foot by foot from elevation 519 all the way down to, I think it's 513 or 514, to make sure that we're increasing flood storage at every elevation on the site. The riverfront area is something that I've already discussed with Herlin. So the way that we had filed the application, we were under the assumption that the property qualified as a historic mill complex. I can read the definition to the commission if that would be helpful.
You can. I did look it up. It is under the state of Massachusetts Commission listed. It's listed under Fitchburg Paper 21 River Street, not the Depot Street address.
Gotcha.
So it's a little bit of a finding, but it is listed as a historic property in the city.
Yeah, I was able to find some old maps, Sanborn fire insurance maps.
Okay, yep.
From early 1900s that showed the building and the development.
Yep.
So that's why the application was filed in that manner. There's no riverfront area shown on the plans because per the Wetlands Protection Act, it would be grandfathered in. So what are we doing for mitigation? Like I said, we're trying to avoid the resource areas. We're trying to minimize disturbance and increase the green space within the buffer zones. We're going to be installing erosion controls, which are typical of this style construction project. So there'll be a silt fence line between the proposed improvements and the river, as well as either hay bales or silt sock, whatever the commission prefers to see. And then there will be silt sacks installed in all the existing and the proposed catch basins within the stormwater system. We are proposing improvements to the existing system. There's really not much out there for a stormwater management today. 100 years ago, this wasn't really a concern for them. So most of the water today hits the pavement and just sheet flows over land and discharges directly into the river. So what we're proposing is a new closed drainage system that will install deep sump and hooded catch basins to improve the TSS removal of any stormwater before it discharges to the river. That's kind of my summary of the engineering that has gone into the project to date. So I'd be happy to turn it back over to the commission and see if you all have any questions or comments.
Thank you very much. At this time, do we have, because we have no one in person, I believe, to make comment, but do we have anybody online, Herlin,
No.
that is available for comment? None at this time. So that being said, then I will go to the commission. And Kathy and Commissioner Donnelly, do you want to start at this end in questions for the applicant?
I don't.
Okay. Commissioner Donnelly?
Curious who Eleanor is.
Yeah, who is Eleanor?
Eleanor is one of the owner's grandchildren.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Family name.
And this is to the commission. I think oftentimes applicants come in and they come in tiptoeing and designing around the Wetlands Protection Act interests and not dismissing them. But I would ask the commission if as I said, I see the roadway out front as our Storrow Drive, and the eye appeal and aesthetic appeal of this project is unparalleled, literally, in terms of its visibility. And if the Conservation Commission could encourage the developer, his obligation would be to improve the site, even though it's a redevelopment, if they're looking for something from the CONSCOM. And would the Conservation Commission consider lightening up the 20 or 25-foot setback, even to the edge of the wetland, in terms of having them, I don't want to say aesthetic improvements, because people see different aesthetics, but if they could spend some time and some money and some energy and relax some of the standards that they may be trying to work within or around, so that they can bring up the waterfront aesthetically and still protect the wetlands interests.
So I will, to that point, Commissioner Donnelly, in the plans, I know, it does reference where the wetlands are, but there's not a lot of description of what you're going to do to it, I didn't see a planting plan of what you just referenced as far as making that better, and I think that is what relates to your comment.
Again, I'm asking the conscom if they could leave knowing that there's an element of relaxing on it if they can give it more attention than they otherwise would to all of our benefits, and not relaxing the wetlands interests. And that's one thing to the commission. And then the other is that no retention of stormwater runoff. You said beyond catch basins and oil sumps, no detention.
Yeah, that's true. There's no detention currently proposed, and the reason for that is because through the careful layout of the parking areas, we are reducing the impervious area by something like 9,000 square feet. So just by converting and rehabbing the project and reducing the impervious by that much, we're actually able to reduce the stormwater flows to the river kind of naturally by providing added green space and plantings at the property.
The slope is still to the river. The slope of everything is still to the river. So that's a question in my mind. Nothing more. I don't have an answer. That's an observation and a question.
Commissioner Tantanero, if you want to go, and then I'll comment.
Okay, referring to the vegetation planting, are you talking about creating a border across against the parking lot, the proposed parking lot, or are you incorporating the plantings into the parking lot as in islands?
Yeah, we have a planting plan that we've put together as part of the planning board filing, because this will be in front of the planning board as well. So we'd be happy to submit that. I know we're not going to close the hearing tonight, right? So we can put that into the record and show you exactly where all the plantings are proposed. But I think what I'm hearing from the commission is you'd like to see some native plantings between the edge of the pavement and the river, basically, to enhance that buffer. Is that what you're kind of referencing?
I wouldn't say that's based on my question, but I wouldn't be opposed to that. I'd be happy to see more native species, a variety, plants, shrubs, trees.
Okay.
But I was curious if there was plans. I know you're planning on adding 350 parking spots.
That's correct.
But that's in a already impervious space.
Right.
So I wasn't sure if you were planning on remediating any of that parking space and making it more of a vegetative area.
Yes, right. So we're going to take about 9,000 square feet of pavement and convert it to green space. And that area, it's kind of dispersed throughout the parking lot. It's not like it's one big chunk.
Yep.
But there will be added vegetated islands, like landscape islands like you see. I'm sorry. So within those landscape islands, we'll propose tree plantings that can survive in that type of environment. And those have been shown to reduce the heat, kind of the heat index within the parking lot and provide some shade for cars and people.
Yep. My other question, thank you. My other question revolves around trash removal. Is there, maybe I missed it, is there already a plan for trash removal during the project and then when the tenants initially move in? Like, how is the trash going to be disposed of?
Yep. So the building is going to be professionally managed. You know, there's going to be over 200 units. There's going to be a fenced enclosed dumpster pad at the site that will be accessible to, private trash pickup.
Okay. So residents will bring the trash out to a dumpster. It won't be, okay, just curious.
Yep.
And then, any plan, I see the mixed use. What is the mixed use eventually planned to be?
Yeah, so currently the proposal is just the residential use as the primary use, but, the applicant is trying to make this a project where people want to live, and they're trying to provide some good tenant amenity space. So Some of the things they've seen in their projects recently that are good for this size project is like a fitness center, a shared workspace. A lot of people are working from home nowadays, so if you can provide like an office type setting, shared office type setting for people to get out of their actual apartments and go work, I think a lot of people appreciate that. Is there anything else? Like maybe a cafe? I think it's-
There would also be, we're proposed a cafe in kind of our lobby and residential area, so right when you walk into the building, you'll have that as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Tantanaro. Commissioner Christian, any comment or question?
Yes, I just have one question. Did I hear you say that the new FEMA map was at a lesser elevation?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I was surprised by that.
Yeah, we were surprised as
Commissioner
well.
Christian, I don't know if you saw a couple of weeks ago, they had a FEMA presentation that was held in City Hall, and FEMA and there were some other people, state flood. Anyway, they had the new floodplain maps, and actually throughout the city, in most cases, their floodplain has been reduced different amounts in different areas, but it was pretty striking thinking of the flood events that we've had recently, that we weren't expanding that, but as we look at the 100-year floodplain, FEMA is now saying that in a lot of cases in the city, it is reduced in scope. Herlin, I don't know if we can there was a map that showed the before and afters, or but probably not until it comes out. So in July, we'll be able to take a look at that.
I think we're going to council July 1st.
Thank you.
Okay. Surprising, but because I was surprised when I saw it, I really thought that the floodplain was going to increase.
The location of the project is headwaters of the Nashua.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. All right, I have a couple of things. To elaborate a little bit of Sean Michael's comment, the commercial space, is that going to be for other people other than residents, or will that be limited to residents? So when you say a cafe, is that going to be outside or just tenants, or how would that work?
It would be, that's proposed outside commercial tenants occupying those spaces.
Okay, so anybody can, if there's a cafe in there, anybody can go?
Correct. Yep, it would be open to the public, absolutely.
Okay. And are these going to be rentals, condos?
These are rentals. Yep.
Okay. And we would like to see the planting plan. Do you know right now how, and we're going to try and schedule a site visit because we want to get everybody on site to take a look at this, but how bad's the knotweed down there right now, and what are your plans to clean some of that up? And that, I think, is Commissioner Donnelly's point, Mike, if I'm expressing that, but to clean that up and then possibly replace it with your planting plan. Let's take a look at that and see where that goes. But do you see an extensive remediation of knotweed along the bank?
That's not something that we've noticed to date, but we can certainly, with the commission's comment, take a closer look at that and come up with a plan. And it'll be great to have you guys out there and look at it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that extend any more questions that you may
Again,
have?
I wanted them to leave knowing our feeling about encroaching on the wetland, encroaching on the riverfront, and there's an economic burden. It may be less than rather than greater than. The engineering's been done. But if it would ease the engineering end of it to spend more time, if not money, going closer to the wetland area to enhance the project. Mm-hmm. And knotweed being an invasive that you'd want to remove before you start a planting plan, because if you could remove that and then establish a planting plan around what isn't there, never mind what's there, I wanted them to leave knowing that we collectively felt that way, because I'm only one. That's all.
But I think that, speaking for the commission, and Herlin, your comments are valid here, if you have any, that this is a sensitive area, and it is on the plain with the river. You're going to go right up to the river bank. So any enhancement that we can make in that area even if we are within our normal buffer zones, we would be receptive to taking a look at that.
Okay.
And to the commission, you heard it from the chair, but to the commission, I don't think there's anybody here that thinks that the Riverfront Park, which went to the water's edge and removed some of the Army Corps of Engineers' work, was a mistake. And there was a relaxing of jurisdictional wetlands to allow for that, and we're ahead of the game because of that. And this right here probably has an equal or greater aesthetic, financial investment in the city than even Riverfront Park.
Helene, your comments?
No, I would just, I would agree with Mike that if maybe some remediation to the knotweed that's there, even if it's going beyond the 25-foot no build, I would advise the commission to maybe not just ask for it, but maybe require it.
I'm saying we can go to that end, require something, and I appeal to you. I think she said it with you, and I think it's a green light coming from the chair.
So with the one place that we want to take a look at then going forward, we'll look at it when we're on site, but let's take a look at what your planting plan is and that remediation in the beautification of the riverfront area. We're very willing to work with you in that case because you have a prime spot and it would only benefit your project and the city. Okay. So we'll take a look at that. Can you just detail a little bit more about the sump and the holding drains, the operation, how that's going to work, and the TSS, how you're going to treat that in that sump?
Yes, of course. So deep sump and hooded, excuse me, deep sump and hooded catch basins are proposed within the parking lot to collect any stormwater runoff that hits that new impervious area that's being created. The deep sumps are 4 feet deep. That's a state requirement in order to get the TSS credit, basically. So that allows water to fall in, be collected, and fill up the first 4 feet where any sediment, any grit can fall to the bottom of the catch basin. So it's kind of like an initial cleansing of the water. And then the hood is something that gets installed over the actual discharge pipe. And what that does is it drops down underneath the surface level of the water. So if there are any types of oils or anything that would be floatable on top of the water within the basin, that kind of gets skimmed out of any water that gets through and out to the river.
And each catch basin proposed is going to have its own sump system?
Yes.
Okay. And the maintenance and going forward will be in your O&M plan?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And was that included in the submission?
Yes.
I haven't gotten quite that far. It's 169 pages I'm getting.
No, I know. It's a lot of reading.
Yeah.
I can help you out.
It's easy to ask the question. Is it in there?
It's
Yes.
definitely in there, and per the state requirements, it's four times a year, actually, to clean those out.
Okay.
Yep.
And you're aware that you will need to file also a stormwater management plan with DEP because this is more than 20,000 square feet of redevelopment, so you'll have to file with our DPW. And basically, the plan that you're submitting to us can be the plan you submit to them, but they will have to review it in addition to us.
Okay.
Okay. I would like to look at the plans, and one of the things that we talk about a little bit with this close to the resource area is we may want to consider both a double erosion barrier, both silt fence and straw wattle. So if that's not already in your plans, we would look at that. It's not either or, it's both.
Yep, it's currently proposed as both.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make a comment. We do have a stormwater report in this filing.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's also got to go to DPW.
It went with, I thought you said DEP.
No, our DPW.
Okay.
Yeah. So DEP will look at it and
Yes.
comment on anything, but in our city ordinance, DPW, our Department of Public Works needs to review that, so that submission will need to go to them also.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. So at this point, now we don't meet again, we're off in July because our meeting normally would be July 4th, so that is our vacation month. We have till August, so we would like to try and get I would like to pick a time that we can get all the commissioners together and on site all at one time. I know sometimes we kind of do our own site visits, but Herlin, do you want to coordinate that?
Yeah, I
Peter,
would,
would you be the engineer on site to do the site walk, or who?
It would probably be me. I would be there to meet with you on site.
Okay. So probably the best time, because now we have daylight until 6 or 7 o'clock, but we might meet at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, because Saturdays are kind of tough. People are doing things and whatever, so.
I can coordinate a day and then send an email to everybody.
All right, so you work with Zaley.
Yes.
And you will be able to answer, Zaley, any of our engineering questions that we have, or?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So Herlin will reach out to you, pick a couple of days that you're available, and then she will reach out to the commissioners, and we will schedule a site visit. And at that time, we can look at, Mike, at that time, we'll be able to look at how extensive any kind of remediation work along the riverfront might need to be. But I would also plan on submitting your landscaping plans, because we'd like to take a look at that as what your planting plan is. I know it's not necessarily required by us, but in this case, since you're going to be in the riverbank area, we'd like to take a look at that and see what plants are being used.
Sure.
And where you are going to go with that.
Okay, sounds great.
Is that okay with you?
Yep.
All right. Commissioner Christian, any other question, or? Okay, thank you. So if there are no other questions among the commissioners, I will take a motion in a second to continue to the August 6th meeting.
Motion to continue. Second.
Okay, let me call the roll. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier is not here. Commissioner Tantanarowat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobs? Aye. So everyone, thank you very much, and we'll schedule the site visit and see you back in August.
Right or wrong, we're continuing the meeting to an on-site visit,
We're continuing the meeting to an on-site visit.
so not until our August meeting.
The hearing is being continued to
It will be a
August.
public, it will be a hearing
Yes.
on site.
Yeah, because there's a quorum.
Yeah. Okay.
Very good.
Wonderfully.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
All right, thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Have a good night. I just want to interject, Dick. Rolf already came and went. You missed it. It was my fault. I had texted him because we had a little change of plans, and it just kind of sped things through. So it's all set. You guys are all set.
Terrific.
Okay.
Now,
Best con-
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Nice job.
Now, I would like to take the opportunity, I know we've had a couple of other things, updates and that, but I'd like to move to our certificate of compliance on the agenda so that we can get Mr. Lamoureux out of here if we can. Thank you very much. We're going to take the next item on our agenda is a certificate of compliance. Fitchburg Conservation Commission will hear an update and request for certificate of compliance, Mass DEP number 155741, 299 Lunenburg Street, the outdoor recreation area. And who is speaking to this?
This is Robert Lamoureux.
Mr. Lamoureux, thank you very much for attending tonight. And I'm going to turn the floor over to our agent, Jamie, because she has been on site, provided us with exceptional pictures of what it looks like down there. Herlin, if you would like to comment.
I just want to share my screen first.
Yep.
But so I was on site on May 23rd just to see the finished project for this, and erosion control measures are still up. There was an as-built that was submitted with their certificate of occupancy. It does not reflect the wetlands and the buffers, but I was able to overlay it on top of the submission that we received with the NOI, and everything looked to spec. And this was a pretty straightforward project. I didn't see any variances from what was submitted to us, and it looks like the job is completed. There was a lot of impervious area there, but it used to be a parking lot at one point. And I guess also the redevelopment of this area was a benefit to the city as well. The only concern I had, and I didn't get a picture of it, was specifically up front. There is a strip of land right as you enter the parking lot. It's in between two entrances. So if you're facing the actual Hill City, there's an entrance to the right and the left, and there's a little bit of an area in the middle that has grass. And if you look closely, it's not grass, it's knotweed. It is a field, or it will be a field of knotweed. Right now, it's about 1.5 inches big, but it is complete knotweed. I'm not sure where you got the fill from.
It was all clean fill.
Yeah, you might want to have a chat with the person who delivered that fill or the company who got it, because if you look at it, it's little purple leaves. We've seen knotweed. I think you can actually, I wish I had a picture of it. I apologize. My only concern was that I don't think it should restrict the certificate of occupancy, the certificate of compliance. In this picture, you can see the knotweed. So those two little leaves that are up like that, that's knotweed. Do you guys see them in that picture?
About the grass?
Throughout the grass?
Lighter, yeah.
Do you see it in the grass?
Yeah.
I'm going to get up because...
Yeah, we had.
The light.
Anything that looks like this,
Yep.
but that is knotweed. Just for your own reference, you will have a problem. So I would suggest maybe being in touch with our Commissioner Mike Donnelly, who's an expert in removing knotweed.
Well, amongst that vegetation, I think if you just maintain it, if you cut it, and I suspect that they will, if they don't let it go and they cut it on a regular basis, that may hammer it sufficiently.
Yeah.
You're going to cut the lawn, and it's not a problem.
Yeah, because this isn't a grassy area that you plan on maintaining, right?
Is 20,000 square feet of grass.
Not in the back, it's in the front. It's directly by your sign where there's big, tall. So if you're on the street and you're going to turn into it, it's that little grassy area right up front.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little surprised because Gatsby is the one that's been maintaining it.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I had them.
Could have been compost.
It could have been anything.
It could have been anything soil that you got.
Yeah, because I had them take a look at it because obviously they hydro-seeded. The grass came up. You can't put anything on it.
No, that's
Right, because you'll kill the grass.
Yeah.
if you intend to cut the lawn.
Yeah.
It's not a problem as long as you're cutting. You cut the lawn weekly, and you that's keeping it under control. That's the best we can do, people with knotweed, is keep it under control.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
we're going to be maintaining it because it's right at the road. And
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Having grass is important.
The area that our agent is talking about is not necessarily in the grassy zone?
No,
So you
it's up
just-
front.
Yeah, it just may take you to...
It's like a little island up front. It's in between the two entrances. So you have two entrances, one where there's like a gate,
Yep.
right? And then one where the DEP file number is right where you walk. It's like a little...
Well, you have a picture of where the DEP file number is?
It's right adjacent to that. It's to the left. I didn't take a picture of it, but if you drive by, I can probably get it on near map. Just bear with me.
It's a managed area.
Correct.
Yeah.
My only concern with that was just the fact that if you're closed during the winter and nobody maintains it till the end of the spring or something like that, it's mostly a problem for you, not us. I mean, it's vegetation. It doesn't really matter to me, but it will spread there, and it will actually, eventually, if you let it grow, it will break up your parking lot.
Yep.
Because it's that strong. So I would address it
Yep.
now sooner than later. So
So if that, I mean, so in that case where it is, you may be able to remediate it with weed killer or something
Yes.
to assist in that, because it's not part of the lawn area, it sounds like, so.
I mean, it does surprise, only because when I had Gatsby go out, because I had talked to him about the weeds, obviously we just had a hydro seeded, the last thing you want to see is weeds, but you can't do much. And they said the weeds that we see there are nothing to be concerned with. Like, they didn't say it was.
But as long as you
They
cut,
said it was
as long
common
as they're going to
weeds.
cut that and maintain that
Yeah.
at the same time, then it should
Yeah.
hopefully suffice and it won't spread.
And it's just for your reference, I think that I would advise the commission to sign off on the certificate of compliance with the reference of my pictures and my site walk.
Okay. All right. Anyone have any questions? Commissioner Christian, any questions? Anyone?
I want to say, I've seen it multiple times. It's pretty sweet. I just saw a night picture of it. It's even sweeter still. And then I saw a Facebook page or something like that. People being critical. They want an enclosed structure. You can use it winter or some other. They'd be critical. Some being very, very complimentary, others critical. And I think it's good, quick. What's your motivation for coming in for a certificate of compliance on completion? It's unheard of. You should wait about 3 years when you want to sell or refinance and ask for it within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for you.
we're trying, I know Herlin is trying to say, if your project is done, do it now, so we're not doing it 3 years from now.
So I'm patting him on the back, and it's really you. Good for you.
Really, it's everybody, yeah, so, all right, Mr. Lamoro, I think if we're good, I will take a motion in a second to approve the,
Berlin just pulled up the map.
oh,
This is the area right here, Rob. That area, do you see this?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the area that we planted grass and
Yeah.
we're going to be maintaining because it's at the road.
Yeah, just
So it's a field of baby knotweed. Like, I couldn't see the grass. I think somebody with an untrained eye might look at it and just.
it's greenery, so it's
just
okay.
green. And even if you cut it, because the little stalks are still thin little, but it has purple leaves.
I'm surprised. It's filled with grass.
Yeah.
I heard goats eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta-
Maybe a petting zoo is in
The
your
only
future.
thing is if you cut the grass and they throw the shavings out back, then it will grow there.
Yeah.
Wherever you take it, it will grow.
Yeah.
Suffocating it takes 5 years. You don't want to do that.
Yep.
He planted lawn there to manage the frontage
Yes.
because it's your first impression, and he'll manage the frontage.
Yep.
Oh, whatever he has to do, I'm sure he'll manage it.
Okay, if there are no other comments, I will take a motion in a second to approve.
Motion to issue a certificate of compliance.
Second, please.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarowat? Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobs? Aye. Rob, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck. We're hoping the best and hope everything goes well for you. Thank you. Okay, now we're back to our agenda, conservation agent updates. Do you have anything for us, Harlan?
No, I hope everybody has a great July. And I don't have to see any of you. Kidding.
Stuck with me.
Mike didn't even hear me.
I hope everyone has a
Great July.
And I hope I don't have to see you.
Yeah,
You'll see us on the site walk.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no updates.
Okay, thank you. And now, open discussion by commissioners. Is there anything that anybody wants to discuss at this time? Commissioner Donnelly?
I left on Wednesday and came back on Sunday from about the 87th National Ducks Unlimited Convention.
Oh,
A lot of money was raised, but a lot of people had a good time as well. If I could give you a feeling, there was an auction on Saturday night, and there were 25 auction items. All of them were donated items. That's what DU does, they're efficient. and they raised $263,000
Wow.
on 25 items, all of which were donated. That was an auction. There was plenty of raffle stuff beyond that, but it's no small potatoes. People are very giving for wetland habitat, and it was another good social and fundraising event. And it got a lot of people who are committed to wetland habitat together to swap stories and such. And
Where was it held?
it was at the Waterfront Marriott in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I don't want to let the cat out of the bag or anything, but Will Campbell was drafted by the New England Patriots as their proposed starting left tackle.
I hear today.
And the Campbell family are duck hunters from Louisiana, and I'm going to pursue that family
Oh, dear.
now and see if we can't get the New England Patriots back on board as they have been in the past when Matt Light was on the team, Logan Mankins, Nate Soldier. They were all Ducks Unlimited people here in Massachusetts. We'll see if we can't rekindle that relationship. Anyway, it's wetlands, people that value what you value for different reasons or the same reason, but they value wetlands.
Very good. Thank you. Anything else? No? Okay. We have no forest cutting plans. Violation and enforcement, one real quick item there. We are meeting tomorrow at Sheldon Road to see the remediation that's been done at 46 Sheldon, that they have been working with the violation subcommittee in that case. Commissioner Christian, I'm not sure you're going to be able to attend, but we will have a report at our next meeting as to what we find, but if they follow the plan the way it was presented, we're hopefully going to see that remediation come to fruition.
That'll be a big deal. We are at liberty to discuss River Street and behind British Club and to the left end behind and to their property and the adjacent property. Are we at liberty to discuss that?
I'm not. The adjacent property being the
gravel deposit on the adjacent gravel.
I drove by there, they moved it.
And they didn't remove it. They cleared it. They graded it. They spread it.
But it's out of the 200-foot buffer now, right?
There's one up front.
No, okay, no. All right, how about the regrind on the British property as well? The regrind was equal to the gravel on the left side. They spread that gravel, but if it's outside of the 200, not an issue.
So it's two different properties.
Correct.
Face it, left and right.
Right. Okay.
17 Simonds.
That's the gravel.
That's the gravel.
Okay.
And when I drove by the other day, now it's in the front.
Okay, well, they leveled it, had to go somewhere. They brought it forward, yeah. Nope. That's fine, that's all. We're at liberty to discuss it, and we are. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
so
fine.
we were, no, I mean, I know, Kathy, Sean Michael, Herlin's been there, you've been there, and there is, Herlin, you walked it off or measured it, where the 200-foot mark was, so he was told that he either had to delineate the wetlands and apply for an NOI or move that out of the 200-foot. So apparently he chose to move it out.
These guys have two piles of regrind within 200, for sure.
Yes, and so we have to discuss that when they get their act together as far as.
My hopes was to have us condition that in the RDA, but these folks, I think the best thing they did was to withdraw, and whenever they want to come, they need to show full plans. And I think the statement was made that if they don't have the financial means to do the minimum, then they need to raise those funds and come back to us when that happens.
Yeah, because I think to Commissioner Donnelly's point, I mean, if you can't even pay the fee for the application, how are you going to do the work properly?
And it seems like there was an interpersonal problem between them, and I don't think it's
Yeah, we're not getting in the
That's
middle of
not our
that.
purview, but we don't.
If I may, aside from that project, any project that comes forward, if anyone here, first of all, there's a rule, a law about burying stumps. Stump is considered hazardous waste, if you will, but you can't bury a stump because when it degrades, you could have a depression or whatever, and it's the next owner's problem. So downtown Fitchburg at Dunkin' Donuts, they're building a new, I suspect it's a Dunkin' Donuts drive-through on Main Street in Fitchburg, and they went into the ground and they took up huge amounts of deconstruction from the former buildings that were there. And surprise, 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 they find that. So when I go to the British American Club in terms of financial wherewithal, it's easy to cut the pipe and forget about it. But if they're looking to make an improvement, and if the commission, I recognize more harm than good by going into the ground and pulling those out. I recognize that. But to bury it, to cut it off and to leave it is the equal of leaving it underground for the next owner and the next redevelopment of project. And I think it's like burying a stump, out of sight, out of mind. Nobody knows it. I think it's deceitful and it's short-sighted, and I think do it the right way. I've cut a few trees down, and when they come down, I'm either going to stump it or I paid quite a bit of money to grind the stumps. That's my own personal thing. I don't just leave them there. I finish the job when it comes to trees and stumps, and if I had concrete, I'd finish the job and extract it and get rid of it. Cost money, it's the right thing to do.
So let me, I'm sorry, Sean Michael, go ahead.
Just an education, when you grind the stump, does that still not cause a depression in the ground because of the root balls underneath it that decompose and...
The body of that stump is removed right down. He went right down to he starts spitting up dirt, so the body of that stump's gone. All of those feeder roots, they're there, but they'll decompose and they'll leave far less of a void than that body of stump, right?
And then you said you would fill it
You
with...
take out the grindings and you put in earth that will not settle as much.
You would put cement in?
No.
No, you can loom and plant.
Gravel and or loom and finish it up just as nature would have done. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I thought I heard you say cement.
And it's not, our concern was removing concrete next to the riverfront. It might disturb it. I agree, I get all that. But somebody said that the footings were deep. That was what we heard. Somebody said that they're deep. Well, I say they're not deep. There's a conflicting opinion. I mean, you take one out, right there in front of you, take one out, find out. Then you know how deep the rest of them are.
All right, so now let me comment and challenge the commission. What would we think about leaving them there? I mean, that is, I'm not sure what they gain by wanting to take those out.
They want a visual...
Aesthetic.
A visual of what?
He said it was aesthetically pleasing.
I think that the steam pipe is aesthetically pleasing.
He used the word beautification. That was what was presented us 30 days ago, beautification. So to answer your question, beautification is what they were getting out of it, and that's kind of subjective now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's in the eye of the beholder, but, I am of the opinion is leave them there. I don't find it objectionable to have the steam pipe there. And then they don't have to disturb the riverfront area.
Everything that falls down on, eventually it will just decompose, no?
If it were my land and I want to remove it,
that will stay before it rusts away.
it's obsolete. It has no function. If it were my land, I'd ask to remove it for beautification purposes and to clean up. It's a relic of the past. It's obsolete. I think fundamentally it's obsolete. Like every dam, we're removing dams. If you want to disrupt the environment, remove a dam. You'll disrupt the environment. Why do we do it? Because they're obsolete and they're not natural, and get them out of there. And the pipe is no different.
We'll have to see what they present, but, I don't find it objectionable. Everything's relative, and it's their property, so let's see what they decide they want to do.
were those people?
Well, one of them was,
Just members?
no, one, Patricia's the treasurer, she was here before, and the other gentleman, John, apparently has been displaced, and now we have the new gentleman, but they're going to have elections and come up with new officers.
Do it once, do it right, or do it low budget. That's how I'm looking at it. Do it once, do it right, or do it low budget. I don't like doing it low budget. It's not a big deal. I think they only want to remove one. Did he talk about all of them?
As far as I'm aware, it's all of them.
You want them all across.
Yeah.
We wanted to get, it may not be anything. It may be nothing. Jostle it, put a chain around it, lift it out. It may be nothing. Find out. But if they're going to do it on low budget, I don't think it's doing it right, doing it once. Doing it once, doing it
Well,
right.
we'll see what they come back with for plans, if they do at all, so, okay. Do we have any other business, Harlan, that you have? Commissioner Christian, anything else to add? Okay,
I'm good.
all right. If there being, hearing no other business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. And a second. So let me call the roll. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarowat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace? Aye. Commissioner Jacobs? Aye. So we are adjourned until August 6th, 2025. We have no July meeting, and it is 7:06 PM. Thank you very much.